What's the deal, y'all? It's your boy J Neff, man, coming to y'all live on the early Monday morning. It's Labor Day, so happy Labor Day to all of y'all out there who have to go to work. I'll be heading to work actually a little later. I'm gonna be going solo this morning, y'all. I hope y'all ready for just a little isolated J Neff because my boy Dirk is probably knocked out and my boy Carlos is probably knocked out as well. They getting their Z's on while I'm bringing y'all the real. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. This morning, we'll be talking about the LSU-Wisconsin game. Since I'm an LSU fan, I just feel like I need to discuss the direction of the program. We didn't get to do a preview episode like we planned to do because everybody was so busy. But that don't mean we can't talk football, college football in particular. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump right into it. I'm going to start with the box score. Actually, I'm going to start with the real score because that's probably the most important thing, right? So LSU went down Saturday to rank number 5 in the country. They went down 16-14 to the mighty Wisconsin Badgers. It was deemed as an upset as it should have been. You know, a lot of people picked LSU to win this game, in particular myself. You know, I actually picked them to put up 40 points to Wisconsin's 24, but as you can see, I was way off on it. But before you crown me and say you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about, let me let y'all inside of the logical tactics of J-Nev, if you will. The reason why I picked LSU to score so many points in this game was because I thought that, hey, man, they're picked to be a playoff team this year. To make it all the way to college football playoff, meaning they would win the SEC West, and they were predicted to lose only one game. So with that being said, the best thing you want to do to prove that you're a contending team and you deserve your number 5 ranking is to come out and crush the competition right from the bat. So silly old me, thinking that LSU was going to come out, try to make a statement game. You know, they got Leonard Fournette. He's in the Heisman race. He's one of the guys people are really looking out for to win the award and has a great chance to win the award. I figured, you know, he would go in there, do his thing. You know, so much was talked about Brandon Harris making so many improvements in the offseason and Les Miles revamping the passing game. And we'll get to that in a second. But just an overview of why I picked the LSU to score so many points was because when you put all of those things in consideration, you know, you think, hey, you're playing an unranked team, you're going to come out and try to make a statement. However, that wasn't the case, obviously. So let's look at the stat line. Let's start with that. First of all, you know, when you look at LSU, just from the eye test, they looked like they were out of sync on offense pretty much the entire game. They did get the running game going the second half, but for the most part, you know, they just couldn't get the ball moving at times. Third down efficiency, they were 2 of 10, meaning they couldn't stay on the field, meaning the defense was on the field way, way too much. And that usually rears its ugly head in the form of time of possession, which LSU's offense only managed to stay on the field 23 minutes and 3 seconds, whereas Wisconsin's offense was on the field for dang near 37 minutes. So that'll tie your defense down in a heartbeat. But give LSU credit, their defense credit, by the way. Now, their offense, the defense only managed to give up 1 touchdown. They gave up 3 field goals. Some of those field goals were not their part. They were put in compromising situations by the offense. And whenever you do that and you only manage to give up 16 points, you know, I'd have to say that the defense, they did more than their share of work. And they actually even scored a touchdown. Tre'Davious Wright managed to come up with a pick 6 and a fumble recovery, which led to LSU's other touchdown. So the defense done more than you can ask the defense to do, especially when you consider what the offense did. Offense total in its totality managed to measly up 257 yards, 131 through the air, 126 on the ground. Much of that yardage was in the second half. LSU didn't score offensive touchdown till I believe the third quarter, so they were shut out the first half completely. 5 penalties for 57 yards, that doesn't help. You turn the ball over 3 times, 2 picks, 1 fumble. But Wisconsin also turned the ball over 3 times. So that kind of balanced out. Wisconsin managed to get 339 yards on offense, 205 through the air, 134 on the ground, and they were 3 for 15 on third down. So the stats aren't that much different between the two teams. So, and it did play up in the score, but let's talk about something that didn't show up in the stat line, and that's the offensive line play and the defensive line play by both teams. Football, we like to call it the battle in the trenches, which is probably one of the most overlooked, underrated things going into what determines a success or a failure of a team's performance of the day. How well, do you block, and how well do you rush the passer? So when we start talking about that, LSU was flat out awful from the offensive line standpoint. They couldn't open up holes, and they couldn't really consistently protect the passer. To me, in my honest opinion, a lot of people are gonna, blast Brandon Harris and blast the offensive coordinator Cam Karen and blast Les Miles for the lack and the ineptitude of the passing game. But on this particular day, I'm not giving neither three of them a pass, but I thought the offensive line didn't help out Brandon Harris, because when he had time, he did read through his progressions properly, and he did make accurate throws. He did make some inaccurate ones. I'm not saying he played a perfect game by no stretch of the imagination, but he did look comfortable when he had time. Key word being when he had time. There were several plays where the Wisconsin defenders came through the line untouched. That is inexplicable. I don't know how to explain that. I'm not going to try to explain that. The only thing I can come up with is the word inexplicable, because you shouldn't have people running through scotch-free, hitting your running back in the backfield and chasing your quarterback down before he even got time to get his vision and go through the progression down the field. That is absolutely inexcusable. That is absolutely pathetic. And LSU got some issues up front that they need to iron out, because if you can't block, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to beat anybody. You're not going to beat Barb. You're not going to beat McNeese. You're not going to beat powder puff football players. You're not going to beat anybody. Flag football, it don't matter. And they don't even really block in flag football. But I'm just trying to throw out, trying to over-exaggerate to make a point. Blocking is the key to success on offense. However, the one play everybody is going to go back to is the interception at the end of the game, in which Brandon Harris pretty much sealed LSU's fate. And they're going to go to that play and single that play out and say that's why LSU lost the game, and that's why they're not going to have success this season. But I want to caution you to look before you leap and not jump to conclusions so early. Because, yes, he did make an ill-advised throw on that play. But as you can see from the beginning of the play, he didn't have much time to make a decision. Now, I'm not covering up his mistake. That's not what I'm trying to do here. He made a poor decision by throwing that ball. I'm not really sure where he was trying to go with it. I've watched it several times over and over. It kind of looks like he was expecting the receiver to be guided to that area, but as we can see, that didn't happen. As it would appear to the human eye, he threw it right to the other defender, which is not a good thing. That never's been a good thing. That's never going to be a good thing. But it's just the first game. It's just the first game. Did I expect LSU to come out flat and lose this game in the fashion that they did? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it's just one loss, and it's an early loss. So what does that mean? There's plenty of time to turn this thing around. Obviously, not to beat a dead horse, they need some work up front with the offensive line. They need to work on that first and foremost. I thought they mixed it up pretty good. They threw it 21 times. Leonard Fournette had 23 carries, 136 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty good balance. So I don't want to hear nothing about they're not balanced with the play call and there's too much running and this and that and the third. It was pretty balanced, but the execution was just pretty poor on the LSU offensive front in particular. And they got some work to do. Are they ready to contend with the likes of Bama right now? Absolutely not. But the good news is They don't play Bama today. They don't play them tomorrow. They don't play them this upcoming Saturday. They play them in November. That's plenty of time to get some things ironed out, to kind of figure out what we can do to fix that offensive lineup, to get Leonard Fournette some holes where he can run through actually and not be getting hit in the backfield, and some time to give some protection to the quarterback so he can look down the field and make some throws. However, I said all this to say, well, what should LSU consider a quarterback change? Maybe not just yet. If they let's say they improve the offensive line and they start protecting Brandon Harris on a consistent basis, and he continues to make decisions like he made towards the end of the game, well, yeah, it may be time to replace him then. But until then, let's just take a play. Let's just take a play out of the playbook of Aaron Rodgers. How ironically this game was in Wisconsin that I'm making a Green Bay reference here. That the game was played in Lambeau Field. But let's relax just a little bit. Relax. It's just the first game. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they didn't look good. But they got time to iron the wrinkles out and get this ship turned around. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't say for sure if they will do it. But I know one thing. They have the talent to do it. And I know y'all saying, hey, they always had the talent to do it. This is the same old story, the same old season. 5 less miles. Get rid of the quarterback. Blase. But at the end of the day, man, it's just one game. One game does not define a season. Neither does one play. So let's take it one game at a time. Let's see if they can make some improvements, some minor adjustments. Let's see if they can get this ship turned around. I hope so. I believe they can. I believe they will. And go Tigers. What else can I say? This was The Last Word with your boy, J. Nev. Y'all stay tuned. Peace.